Hey MTV, welcome to the Your Crush podcast. We're currently sitting in my car because listen up, y'all, because this is it. My name is Sid Pace, your secret admirer, your crush. I think I messed that up. Let's start again. Hey everyone, my name is Sid Pace, your secret admirer, your dream girl, and your crush. Thank you for coming back to another episode of the Your Crush podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody, we have made it to the end of summer. Can you believe it? Today, it's just me, myself, and I. We're filming it in my car. But the summer is ending, and this is just like a fun way to recap the summer, I thought. It's kind of, picture it as these solo episodes kind of like reconnecting with your crush, aka me, Sid Pace, you know what I mean? We're just reconnecting. We're touching grass together. It's been a minute since you've heard my voice, so I wanted to like yap to you. But we're in my car because I spent a lot of time in my car and I wanted to tell you all about my fun adventures. So let's maybe get on with that. Today, it's just me, myself, and I. Like I said, it's been a good summer. Booked, busy, signed, sealed, delivered. I can't believe it's over. You know what I mean? A big part of my summer, like I said, I spent a lot of time here in my car, driving around the friends, driving myself around to who knows where, doing who knows what. Some things that I can share, some things I can't, you know what I mean? Like, it's just hot girl summer, what can I say? I went on a lot of road trips this summer, and I kind of think that, like, going on road trips is, like, low-key similar to a playlist. Stay with me, okay? It's gonna be good. So you get a variety on a playlist, right? It starts off with, like, hype music, like, welcome to the party, welcome to the drive, welcome to, you know what I mean? New York, aka Taylor Swift. Okay, anyway, but a playlist has a variety of music, right? We have some like hype music, some slow songs, back to hype, maybe instrumental. I'm not really that gal, but like if you are, that's great, and I love that for you. Not for me though. Sometimes you have a book, sometimes you have a podcast. Anyway, a road trip is like a playlist, and let me tell you this. When you're on a road trip, you listen to hype music first, okay? Get you in the mindset, like, let's go, we're leaving our town, let's get out of here. But then it switches into something that's more like quiet and maybe like reflecting of your life, I don't know. But then you're back to hype when you're like so close to your destination. It's like, okay, let's turn the club music back on, like let's get excited for our trip this weekend, you know? Sometimes you have a book, sometimes you have a podcast. And let me just say, I don't listen to books, but I love podcasts, which you're like, Sid Pace, like those are similar, but I don't know what it is. Like when someone's reading a book to me out loud, it makes me so tired, but when it's a podcast and I feel like it's like my friend talking to me, it's just different. I don't know. Don't sue me, but that's just how it is. So some road trips that I've been on this summer, I have been around, okay? We went to, starting off strong at the beginning of summer, we went to St. George for a little wedding. That was so cute. And my friend who got married, like, against the Red Rock, like, that was literally stunning, okay? We'll do it again. It got me thinking maybe I should do, like, a destination wedding. So, anyway, all of you out there listening, you're all invited to my wedding, whenever that is, in, like, 2037. Start saving, okay? Cool. Oh, and then after the wedding, the girl that I went down with, as you all know, Kenna, okay? She was a guest on the podcast. If you haven't listened, you should listen. But me and Kenna drove down, and like she mentioned in her episode, I just yapped for like 5 hours straight. Didn't know I had it in me, but I guess I had a lot to say. Your girl had a lot to say. Yeah. Your crush was going through it at that time. And then she left like the day of the wedding, like, because we only did the ceremony, and then we did like luncheon. Yeah, and then that was the end because the reception was going to be like up closer to our hometown. Anyway, so she left, and then I made my other friends, like, drive down to St. George and come pick me up, and then we hung out all weekend. So that was fun. We did some hikes. We did some swimming, played some volleyball. It was a good start to summer. Then our next trip, we went to my friend's little cabin. Oh, my goodness. They were the cutest cabins of my life. A little bit about that trip is we did some swimming. We had s'mores, duh. We played some games. We spilled secrets and had a good time. So that was that. After that, we went to this place called Torrey, Utah. If you don't know what that is, look it up on the map. It's about this big, like probably so tiny. Not probably, like it is so tiny. Anyway, it's by Capitol Reef National Park. kind of a secret, so like don't share it with the world, but also if you haven't been, like, you should go, okay? We went there to take some family pictures, hang out with the cousins, trauma bonding, XYZ, you know the drill. And that was like my dad's side of the family, and it was just a quick trip. It was like a Saturday to Sunday type vibe, a lot of driving. Moving on, we then went to Jackson Hole with my family, and some of my like extended family came. We did some camping, we went on the river, we did a hike, did some shopping, had some s'mores, had a good time. Honestly, I loved it. I would do it again. And then I went to Island Park, which is a place in Idaho. Then I went to Island Park with my friend and her family, and you guys, this was the first time I ever drove alone somewhere far. Yeah, 4 hours in a car by yourself really puts you to the like test of, I don't know, your attention span, and really makes you think about life. But yeah, it was my first time driving, and we made it. It was great. And then on the way back, you know, I forced my friend, she had to drive home with me, so it was great. Then we did some camping, me and the homegirls. We did some camping, like, just on the other side of this mountain. It was so fun, honestly. Food tastes better when you're camping, and like, I don't know what it is. Being in nature though, and roasting s'mores. Name a better experience. I'll wait. Yeah, exactly, that's what I thought. But no, as you all know, I literally live for s'mores, and so camping was so much fun. Played a lot of card games. I mean, did some boating. I did wakeboarding, so give it up for your girl. I did some wakeboarding and fell on my face and like twisted my ankle, and that's how you know you've made it, you know? I don't know what I've made it, but basically, like, we don't need to get into the details, but like, I made it. We'll just leave it at that. And then we went to Jackson Hole. But here's the thing. This was my second trip driving alone somewhere. And it was pretty fun. Like, honestly, it's kind of a good, you know how you hear like the term force family fun? Well, this was force me time fun. What? It was actually a good time. I like driving by myself. Definitely more fun when you're with other people. So thank goodness some of the girls drove home with me, so I wasn't alone both ways. But yeah, we went to Jackson Hole. We hiked a lot in the Tetons, swam in a lake. One of the girls got a leech on her, and that was actually terrifying. Had some good ice cream. Oh my goodness, the pizza at Jackson Hole, to die for. And you know me, I love pizza. That was really good pizza, okay? Take note, I don't remember what it was called, but if you go there, let me know if you had pizza and how it was, okay? Did some shopping. We definitely, all of us spent way too much money on like the merch in Jackson Hole when literally we all went into this one store and it was so expensive, but like none of us wanted to leave and go see if there was other options, because it was like around the time where all the stores were kind of closing, so we're like, this is it. And we definitely spent a lot of money, but like, meh. Money comes and goes, but memories are forever, so it was worth it, I think. And then this most recent weekend, I went to Spokane, Washington to visit my best friend. Let's go. Colette and her husband live in Spokane, as you all know, and if you don't know, surprise, they live in Spokane. And that was so much fun. It was me and then 3 of my other really good girlfriends, and we all drove up there and just had a good weekend. You know, I've never really been to Washington, so it was very pretty. Loved it. And honestly, might pull back up in a couple months. So, but yeah, that was all the road trips I went on this summer, and I loved it. So much fun. 2 of those trips I was by myself, so it really got me thinking about life, you know? Kind of like the playlist. I was driving, I was like hyped. I'm like, can't wait to see all my friends once I pull up there. And then after an hour goes by, it's like, oh, let me just rethink my whole entire life. And then another hour goes by, and you're like, okay, so now I'm in this spiral. I need to listen to a podcast that like will get me out of it or make it feel like I'm talking to somebody on my solo drive. So, and then you go back to listening to hype music because you're like, we're almost there. Like, let's go. Like, this is going to be the best weekend of my life. You know? It definitely has been an interesting summer. And listen, I know I live in Utah, and I know that's like right by the mountains, a lot of granola, girl boy aesthetics going on here. Well, personally, I'm not really like an avid camper or hiker. Like, I'll go and I'll enjoy it, but it's never like, I don't know. This has been an odd summer for me, everyone. This has been an odd summer for your crush. I am not usually a granola girl, but this summer we really leaned into the aesthetic. So, yeah, and it was cool. It was good to really just like touch grass and be in nature, I guess. Now, with these road trips, I feel like it definitely depends on who you're with in the car, but when I'm with my brother, we usually just like pick a topic and then we just like unpack it for like an hour, and then after an hour we're like, okay, new topic, let's do this. So that's fun. We have some good deep conversations with my brother, and I like to bully him, so it's a good time for me. With the friends, usually it's just like nonsense. Like if you were to just tune into our conversations like it was the radio, you'd be like, what the freak are these girls like talking about? And I feel like that's our conversation like 90% of the time. Something though that kept me going on my drive when I was alone, as you all know, and I say this probably in every episode, honestly, someone should count all the times I mention Taylor Swift and let me know. But I play this game where I like shuffle her whole discography and then like turn off my screens and stuff, and then I have to guess it within like seconds of the song. So it's a good way to quiz myself to make sure I actually am like staying up to date on my Swiftie knowledge. But yeah, a good road trip, you have to have good songs, maybe a few podcasts to listen to, a book. You have to have good snacks. Like what makes a road trip go by quick is if you have good snacks. Yeah, and good company. But if you're alone, then you can call people or really just take the time to unpack your whole life and see like what you need to change and fix in your life and organize it, you know? I don't know. Road trips are great for personal reflection. And moral of this topic, moral of the story of what I'm ranting about right now is you should go on a road trip. Alone, you should go on a road trip with other people, and I feel like that kind of shows you a lot about those relationships with your people and your relationship with yourself. So take note, put it in the calendar. I think it would be good for you. It was good for me. Okay, one of my favorite songs this summer that I like will not shut up about and I keep listening to, let me pull it up for you. It actually, I don't know, because depending on the summer, like the beginning of summer, I definitely listen to a lot of Sports Car by Tate McRae and 6 Months Later by Megan Maroney. Yep. Oh, and Manchild by Sabrina Carpenter. Those were good. But I would say like now, reflecting on the whole summer, okay, probably Nice to Each Other by Olivia Dean. Like I'm obsessed with that song. Probably that one. Delicate by Taylor Swift. And probably Risk by Gracie Abrams. I would say are my like top summer songs that I feel like I've been on repeat constantly throughout the whole summer. So yeah, I'm gonna lock that in as my answer. Okay, so next, of course, your girl doesn't read books and she doesn't listen to books, so she listens to podcasts. And a podcast that I listened to this summer that I liked and I loved, you already know, Call Her Daddy. Such a good podcast. If you're not on it, what are you doing with your life? Also, if you're not a podcaster, what are you doing with your life? Because this is your favorite podcast, remember? This summer was my first summer ever watching Love Island, okay? And the beginning of Love Island, everyone like was really pissing me off. I did not like it. I was not hooked. But towards like the end when they get to Casa Amor, which if you know, you know. If you don't know, basically they leave the villa, go to a whole other villa, boys in one, girls in another, and bring in like a bunch of bombshells, if you will. Anyway, so the Call Her Daddy with Amaya Papaya on it. Oh my girl. I literally loved her. She was so entertaining. I just think like her confidence of like nothing's that serious, just be you, and like if people are gonna judge you for it, they're gonna judge you for it, but like that's their problem, that's not your problem. Anyway, I love that because I feel like it just like goes with the mindset that I've been working on, and just like trying to not let people bother me as much and just like find that confidence in who I am and what I like to do, you know what I mean? So I loved that episode because I feel like it just kind of encompassed kind of the mindset that I've been and am still working on, because at the end of the day, it's not that serious, it's not that deep, and so just you do you, and if people are going to say something about it, that's a them problem, you know? Like, ladies and gentlemen, we've already been over this, but sometimes you just like gotta keep like hearing that over and over, and then like one day you're gonna believe it, and one day you're gonna see it like take that shift in your life, you know what I mean? Good song, good podcast. Shifting gears, but also going along with like that podcast with Amaya in it, is some things that I learned this summer. Oh my, I learned so many things this summer, like literally so many things, but I just narrowed it down to like 3, because when you have like a list of like a bajillion things, it's like, did you actually learn it, or like do you actually want to accomplish? Like if you have a list of like 40 goals, you're not gonna accomplish any of those goals, so you just gotta keep it small, short and sweet, as my girl Sabrina would say. Okay, so some things that I learned this summer. is one, my Google Calendar needs to relax. I was just holding it out until the end of August to like low key fix my habits. Well, let me back up. My Google Calendar needs to relax because it's just a million things from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. And I like love it and I love being busy, but it's just really come to my attention that I need to take a chill pill. So I've been thinking and reflecting a lot on that in the month of August. So moving forward, the rest of the year is not as stressful as August was. The other thing I learned is that like time goes by way too fast. And if you have a goal of doing something and you're like, time's going to come or next week is going to slow down so I'll have more time. It's like, truth is, time is just going to keep going quick and it's like actually never going to slow down. So learning how to prioritize things is what's going to make your day feel more fulfilling. And the last thing I learned is don't let people bother you. And all three of these things, honestly, I'm going to continually learn and, like, expand my, what's the word? Like, knowledge? Sure? I don't know. Expand my motivation with them. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying. These are the three things that I feel like have stuck out to me this summer that I want to keep working on, and I feel like are once I become like a black belt in this, then I feel like my life would be easier. But these are definitely the takeaways that I learned this summer of just like how living my life with these things in mind, I can just one day feel more fulfilled, feel more productive, feel more work-life balance, that whole thing. And I've loved the summer, and I'm actually so sad that it's over, but also excited because today, well, whenever I filmed this episode, it rained, and I honestly, like, could cry about it because I don't know about you, but summer fashion is just not for me. I said it when I talked about hot girl summer. Summer fashion is just, like, ugly to me just because I feel like there's not a ton you can do. But when it comes to fall, when it comes to winter, spring, depending on where you live, I feel like the fashion just like really pops off and it's just much better. And you just like experiment with more fashion and I don't know, everything about it, I live for it. So I'm sad that summer's over, but also I'm looking forward to fall. New wardrobe, shopping spree, corn mazes, pumpkin carving. New music. Oh my goodness. New Sabrina Carpenter, new Taylor Swift, like new Lainey. I'm obsessed. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. So some favorite non-travel things that I did this summer. Let me just run through this list that I have for you. I went to Pilates for the first time. I did 2 classes. Loved it. Still debating if I want to buy a membership, but would go again. A few sunrise moments, some sunrise paddleboarding, sunrise hike. Very peaceful, sunrise over sunset, you already know. The dating this summer popped off, I would say. I went on my dream date like I wanted to. It was amazing. Watercoloring on a paddleboard. Wow. Literally was straight out of a movie. It was magical. I loved it. Would do it again. Had some craft nights, went to some concerts, attended the farmer's market, volunteered at the farmer's market, and # support local businesses, you know? Lots of ice cream runs. Lots of pickleball, and I even went to the dentist and I didn't have a cavity. So I think that was a successful summer, and honestly, dare I say more? Probably not. The other day I got stopped on the street and someone asked, they were like, Sid Pace, my crush, like, what do you want to leave in summer and what are you taking into fall? Like, I need to know. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, again, this is on my unprofessional advice, but I would just echo everything that all my guests have said this summer, is that nothing's that serious and that you just got to do what you got to do to make you feel the most energized. And if you're feeling drained, just learning to become okay with saying no. I don't know how to do that, but this whole summer I feel like has just brought a lot of awareness to things that I kind of want to fix in my life, things that I need to like let go of. Whether that's like misconceptions about other people, about myself, things that I feel like maybe I want to change or be better at. Something that I feel like we need to leave behind is just not being on your phone as much and being more present. As we all know, life moves fast, and I don't know, I just think the more present we are, the more happy, less drained we're gonna feel. If we spend too much time on our phone, and not connecting with ourselves or other people, then that just doesn't sound fun. So anyway, I'm gonna leave that in this, leave that bad habit of being on my phone in the summer. We're gonna we can only go up from here. Our screen time is only gonna go down because we're gonna spend less time on our phone, right? Something I want to take into fall is probably be more vulnerable with the people that I trust in my support system. Whoa, that was kind of deep. Okay, the Your Crush podcast is getting deep. I think the more vulnerable we are, the more honest we are with ourselves, especially if we're honest with our support system and what we need and learning how to do that. I don't know, I want to read maybe a self-help book to help me do that. Anywho, but something I'm crushing on right now is I do have a crush. Ooh, and when it comes to dating, I do have a crush on this man, so that's exciting. And I'm excited just to continue to learn more of how I can show up in a relationship and kind of figure out more in depth of what I feel I need from a relationship. So all good things. I am crushing on Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce for being engaged. I know that was a week ago, but I'm still thinking about it. So definitely still obsessed with that. And lastly, something I'm crushing on is just the idea of fall. The idea of fall in general, the concerts I have, the fashion that I kind of want to explore, and I don't know. Something I'm crushing on is honestly rewatching Gossip Girl. When the fall weather hits, that's how you know. Rewatch those shows. Rewatch Gossip Girl, Gilmore Girls, One Tree Hill. The best shows. Good therapy. And that's my crush. Thank you for listening to this random episode talking about the random things I did this summer. I would say a Hot Girl Summer was definitely a success, and I owe it to all my friends, all the plans that we had, honestly. I lived, I've loved this summer, would do it again. And that's all I have to say for you. If you have a crush, I'm proud of you. If you don't have a crush, I'm also proud of you. Stay safe out there. Protect that peace. I don't know. Life is just more fun with a crush. If you don't have one, you already know. Sid Pace. That's me. Hey, I would love to be your crush any time of the week. Any season of the year. That's me. Happy to be there. Just let me know where I need to sign my name. Share this with your friend. Share this with your dog. Share this with your neighbor. Share it with your crush, honestly. Just send it to them and be like, hey, this is the Your Crush podcast. I need to listen to it. So I'd really appreciate that. I would love you forever. Well, I do love you forever, but and that's all I have for you. Thanks for listening to this episode. Again, this episode was filmed in my car because I felt like I spent a lot of time in my car this summer, driving to all the fun places, doing all the fun things. Let's give it a little... Oh. Yup. Okay, that's all I have for you. Love ya. Bye.